What's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I wanted to address a top 10 rapper MVP list that has had the social media world in a frenzy over the last 24 hours. This list came from Brian B.Dot Miller, who is deemed as an informed hip-hop journalist. He has a show with Elliot Wilson over a title called Rap Radar. And here's what his list looked like. Number 1, Freddie Gibbs. 2, Conway the Machine. 3, Benny the Butcher. Russ at number 4. Big Sean, number 5. Little Baby at number 6. Nas at 7. Drake at number 8. Number 9, Lil Wayne. And 10, Stove God Cooks. All right, so one thing that everyone, should really keep in mind when you compile these best of the year lists is that not everyone's going to have the same opinions. That's just common sense out the gate, and that's okay. All music tastes are pretty much subjective at the end of the day. But Brian B. Miller decided to list 3 different types of criteria for his selection, so I feel this is where he left open the door for some criticism. And the 3 that he chose were skill, performance, and presence. Now, it's pretty clear what skill means. Who is the most technically proficient, who is snapping on tracks, who is really rapping. The second one, performance, was a little vague to me. I mean, we're in a pandemic, so there were really no performances. At least there shouldn't have been. So I'm going to assume that he meant how well their albums were received. How did their albums perform? And the third was presence, which kind of deals with popularity here. Was the artist popping? But it also could be looked at as, did the artist have presence on tracks, or did they have swag on tracks? Did they stand out, or was their music dry and dull? So that aforementioned criteria was used to compile this list, and just jumping right into the actual list, I'd say that he had a little more than half of it right. Like, I don't think anyone could make a reasonable argument as to why Freddie Gibbs, Conway, Benny, Nas, and Stove God shouldn't have been on this list. All 5 of those artists put out really fire projects in 2020. Now, I know the Nas album got a lot of mixed reviews on social media, but I thought that was a 4-mic project. You can disagree, and that's fine. But I was a little surprised to see Stove God Cooks make the list. So shout out to B.Dot for recognizing that young king's talent. That's why I'm saying that he didn't get it all wrong. I mean, this list could have been way worse, y'all. Now, as far as Big Sean and Little Baby, I think it would have been okay to leave them on this list, given the type of balanced and politically correct list that B.Dot aimed to make. Whether or not you are a fan of Big Sean and Lil Baby, they both put out solid projects this year, and it has some decent features as well. So I'm really not mad at their names being on this list. But I do strongly question why the following 3 artists were on this list: Russ, Lil Wayne, and Drake. Now, I don't listen to Russ, but I did not recall his albums buzzing like that in 2020. Maybe I follow a completely different group of people on social media, but I did not see cats talking about how fire those Russ projects were. And as far as Drake and Lil Wayne, they both had a mid-year. Let's face it. Now, this isn't any Drake or Lil Wayne slander, but they did not have an exceptional or MVP-worthy year whatsoever, especially considering the type of music that they're capable of making. It was a very underwhelming year for them, to say the least. So here are 3 to 4 artists who I feel should have made this list if we are judging by the B.Dot criteria. The first would be Ransom. When I think of MVP rappers in 2020 with a certain skill set, Ransom instantly comes to mind. In 2020, he gave us some of the best music in his career. If we want to keep it all the way a stack, no one was out rapping Duffel Bag Ran. And Ransom is not this obscure underground head either. Like, he is well known, he has a presence. The other artist is Shay Noir. Now, B.Dot, if you're going to have a balanced list, how are you not even going to mention one female MC in 2020 when it was one of the hugest years for female rappers in quite a long time? It's mind-boggling. All right, let's just say it doesn't have to be Shay Noir. I think the case could be made for an artist like Ciroc, but the bottom line is that a female MC should have been on this list. I mean, if you are going to pander, at least pander accurately. I'm also going to make the case for Royce. Like Ransom, Royce is the epitome of a technically proficient MC. He made a ton of moves outside of rapping, also like on the production front, so he definitely had a presence. And the last person I would add to the list would be 21 Savage, although I might have to take someone off to do so. Look, whether you like him or not, 21 Savage gave us the best trap album of the year by far. I guess what is puzzling to myself and quite a few others is that in a year where lyrics mattered, as opposed to years that were dominated by more pop and trap music, how are artists like Ransom, Shay, Noir, and Royce not on this list? Now, I can understand on some level the position B.Dot felt he was in to try and cover all bases and to select some commercial artists. And that's okay, because I don't think anyone is realistically expecting a list to just be comprised of 10 underground East Coast MCs. If you are making your own personal list, that's fine. But if you are an established journalist who wants to tap into all the different regional sounds and musical styles, then it just can't be all, underground rappers. Now, fam, I love artists like Edo, Rome Streets, Flea Lord, Rock Marciano, but you can't expect a guy like B.Dot to make a list including just those kinds of artists. But here's the big but. On the same token, B.Dot failed to give flowers to the really skilled underground MCs who were really instrumental in bringing lyrics back to the forefront this year. At the end of the day, I think we can all pretty much agree that it was a watered down list. Wasn't completely terrible, but a little suspect. But anyway, these are just my thoughts. Please like and subscribe. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out. As always, it's peace and blessings. One.